Hi, Roger of Wuthering Heights. Just want to show you a couple interesting things about this particular Arctic batch of air, where it's located, and what we're expecting here, and how stable this regime is, which is pretty phenomenal. Of course, under Arctic high pressure, is to get a fair amount of sunshine, and we do have that, despite the fact that we have to do a little bit of cloud cover here from time to time. And here's the latest current conditions right now. We do have of course, very, very cold temperatures coming out of Quebec. This has been steered in from the northwest, and this is going to continue numerous minus 20s, and this is occurring mid to late morning. These temperatures continue to work into the state of Vermont and really occupy a very large area, of course, of North America. And the current conditions right now being what they are, we're not going to be pulling out of this kind of air mass anytime soon. This is the coldest air mass across the northern hemisphere, and of course you can see temperatures in the darker purple located over parts of eastern Siberia where you might consistently see these kinds of temperatures. In fact, these kinds of temperatures are averaging about, in this particular location, somewhere anywhere from about 45 to 50 degrees minus side, uh, which works out as cold as minus 55, I believe, Fahrenheit. But you notice that the coldest temperatures here um, go into the North Pole area, but there's interesting things happening here. Alaska is a whole lot warmer. The west coast of North America is a whole lot warmer. And then we have this cold batch of air, and this is our current air mass right here. The other thing that's interesting to note is that right now the Gulf of Alaska, it has an area of low pressure. This is that negative Eastern Pacific oscillation in its negative phase, and it pumps up basically a ridge of higher pressure, and this forces the jet stream, which then comes down and brings the coldest air into the eastern part of the United States, probably the eastern two-thirds east of the Rocky Mountains for Canada. And this pattern is just basically locked in, and we'll get into that in a second. The other thing I'd like to show you here is if we move this back around, and this great website will show you how much warmer it is in the sort of European area along in the western Atlantic. Just take a look at this. This is pretty phenomenal stuff. You can see the air mass is really driving northeastward from many of the storms that we've seen, this exiting nor'easter here. And it continues to go really all the way off of parts of Finland and into really northern Eurasia and well north of Iceland. So interesting to note that the eastern part of Greenland, it starts to warm up, and this is kind of a spike. And this is really what's making things exacerbating this air mass. So we have the jet stream basically going something like this, and then into a mean trough, and then this trough picks up a lot of this warmer air and then shoves it into north of Eurasia, and then a sort of a secondary trough across this area here, and of course with the coldest temperatures being in Siberia currently. That hasn't always been the case this winter. We've frequently seen some of the coldest temperatures actually in parts of North America. Now, and the other thing that's been kind of interesting to note is that we've had a very strong fetch across the Pacific Ocean, and this sort of northwesterly flow coming off of eastern Asia and off of near Japan has been really targeting the Hawaiian Islands with very, very strong waves, waves as high as 40, 45 feet in some of the northwest facing uh, shores of Hawaiian Islands. Note this frontal system is way down south, too. That's pretty interesting. Typically, you have the trade wind flow with a pretty general east to northeast wind, much like you're seeing so sort of suppressed right now across the more subtropical Pacific. And this is the European model, the operational model from last night. Just take a look at how ridiculous this very stable weather pattern is right now. Of course, we have this trough. This is colder Arctic air. The heights are lower, so we're looking at the purple colors here. The colder the temperatures, typically, the lower the thicknesses and the lower the heights. And so we have a big ridge of higher pressure that's centered out in the west coast. Again, this is what's driving this weather pattern, and very, very stable as it is. Let's run the model. And each day here, every 6 hours going on by, you can see much lower thicknesses and lower heights taking place. And again, we're looking at this big ridge of higher pressure, not really breaking down until way out here as we get past 180 hours. And we do start to see sort of a little bit of a difference here, and this might actually bring some rainfall to California. A little bit of a unsettled condition starting to take place in here in the near future. But this doesn't happen until very, very close to the end of the month and as we head into the first week of February. In the meantime, we're kind of just locked in, and I would not anticipate a whole lot of change at this point in time. But you will notice there are uh, small sort of spasms, if you will, of warm air that kind of tries to make it in. And sometimes we'll get lucky and we'll see temperatures maybe shoot up into the 20s, and who knows, maybe almost break 32 degrees. Boy, when you see this cold purple like this just hanging around, well, that's not really a good sign. So basically, heading to 240 hours out, about 10 days from now, that's what the weather pattern looks like. And so it will have evolved, but still a very notable ridge of higher pressure out west. That's not good because that would then just drive more Arctic air into the region as we get into February. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights Consulting. Thanks for watching.